Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Rachel. Rachel is from Ireland, but she lives in Italy. So let's see what Rachel has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Good, thanks. Very nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you too. I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No problem at all. No worries.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's going good. It's a bit of a lazy Sunday. I don't always do those types of weekends because when you have your own business, the idea of a weekend becomes a strange concept. You don't really take it. But yeah, today is definitely a lazy, nice, relaxing Sunday. How was yours?
It's been good as well. It's been relaxing. I've been doing interviews, I've been editing videos, so there's always something to do. There's always something happening.
Lovely. We love that. That's great.
Absolutely. And where are you from, Rachel?
So I'm originally from Cork in Ireland, the south of Ireland. I'm currently actually living in Italy. So I've been living here now for just over a year officially. I was traveling a lot beforehand, but I have my home here now, my base. So that's where I am currently.
And why the change from Cork in Ireland to Italy?
Well, since I was a teenager, I had this idea in my mind that Italy was for me. I don't know what it was. It was just kind of this powerful force almost, is what it felt like. I'm sure it came through songs and movies that you'd see, and it's very much like La Dolce Vita and all that type of thing. And I always said to myself, one day I'll go, one day I'll travel. And eventually I plucked up the courage to do that. And when I got here, I met my boyfriend here fairly swiftly. And with time, kind of started to put down roots, started to work here, started to make friends here and all that kind of thing. So, yeah.
And where's about in Italy you are based?
I'm in Verona, so I'm in the north of Italy. It's a bit of a contentious subject, actually, because if people ask me like, oh, is Verona your favorite part of Italy? And I'm always like, no, I do love Florence. I really do. Because I actually spent one summer in Florence. And for me, it was kind of my single days. And it was so magical and dreamy. Florence is really like entering into a different time and place. And yeah, so they're very protective up in this region of like, Verona is the best. So I say yes, Verona is the best. But to foreigners looking for recommendation, I say no, go to Florence. That's fine.
Amazing. And what do you do for work, Rachel, for living?
So I am actually a life coach of sorts. I specialize in empowerment, coaching, and mentoring. In particular, actually, I coach people on mindset, energetics, and metaphysics. So I kind of bring people that container to coach people in their transformation of their core insecurity and turning that into empowerment, essentially, confidence, alignment, emotional independence, all that good stuff.
Wow, my goodness, that's a lot.
It is, I know.
And walk me through a little bit about your career, how the journey started as a life coach.
So I always had an interest in psychology. I feel like that's where a lot of people who end up in this industry, they start from that space. And not necessarily mainstream psychology. I remember when I was a teenager reading and listening to audiobooks, more so on the likes of Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, kind of Neville Goddard, people in the New Thought area, in that field of, going into a little bit of pseudoscience, metaphysics, you're verging more so into energy and energy attraction. And that really fascinated me. And I was really fascinated by like what is out there that we cannot tangibly sense, what could be out there for us in relation to how we see ourselves and how we live our lives. So that's kind of where it started. And then after university, I went and studied and trained in neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, and all the stuff. And that brought me here.
Amazing. So during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life, about your career, and about your joys in life as well, okay?
Cool. Let's go for it.
Rachel, before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about me. Well, actually, so the reason that I really fell in love with Italy when I was 15 years old was I went to see a movie in the cinema with my friends. And this movie just placed into my head this idea that I need to be in Italy. For some reason, it's just where I need to be. And then when I got here and I actually met my current partner, I realized after a lot of time had gone by that actually his sister was the stand-in for the lead actress in that movie. So
Oh
it
my
was very, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's an interesting fact.
Absolutely. I think your connection starts from that movie, from the
Hmm.
Nubot.
I think
Wow,
so. I think so.
amazing. Rachel, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Floor from the fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Perfect.
Let's do it. Hey Rachel, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Sure, no problem.
Right. First question for you is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Probably traveling alone, actually, because I always wanted to do it, but I always told myself, oh no, but for me, it wouldn't be possible to go alone. I'm not that brave. I'm not that strong. I'm not that resilient. I'll wait until the moment arrives to me where my friends ask me to go with them, or I have a partner that I can travel with so I feel safe. And it got to the point where clearly that wasn't an option. And it was, either I'm going to stay at home and forever just dream about what could be out there, or I actually go and I decided to go, and it worked out well for me.
Wow. And is the first time that you live abroad or not?
That I'm properly living abroad, yeah, like officially having a home here, having a base here, yes.
And all your family are back in Ireland?
There, there, yeah.
I see. Okay. Next one. Hey, Rachel, next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Ooh, in 5 years' time. In the countryside and out of the city centre, preferably. Yeah, I have this dream of a rustic farmhouse, out in the countryside. Hopefully, maybe one or two kids floating around and still working in this exact job that I'm in right now, but working more, having more projects on the go if possible. I say that and I'm like, no, I don't want that. But no, just working more, working with more people, meeting more people, and doing the best that I can with everything.
And you see yourself live in Italy for a long while, or you plan yourself to maybe to go back in Ireland or try some different places?
This is the question on the tip of everyone's tongue, on my friends, my family, and myself. When I left Ireland, I feel like I waited more than 10 years. I was talking about leaving Ireland.
Wow.
And then when I actually went away, and the longer now that I am actually living away, I feel more patriotic than I've ever felt in my life. I feel more Irish than I've ever felt in my life. And I have a new appreciation of Irish culture, Irish mentality, the Irish people. I really miss the humor, all that kind of thing. So I don't know in the future what could change. For right now, I don't have any kids or anything. Who knows in the future? I would be open to going back home if it was a possibility.
I see. And when you think about Ireland, your Cork, where you come from, what's the biggest memory that comes to your mind that warms your heart?
I have one very distinctive memory, actually. I would think I was probably maybe 15, 16 years old, and my mother's side of the family, they're farmers, and they have this kind of huge open fields and everything on their land. And I have this memory of sitting on the back of like an open wagon and being driven through this field at sunset, and like my legs like dangling over the edge, and just I remember feeling in that moment just completely at peace with everything, exactly who I was, exactly where I was, exactly what was happening. And yeah, that memory actually and it wasn't anything very big that happened to me. It was a very simple moment in my life, but it just stands out as being very profound to me.
And since you've been living in Italy for over 1 year now, you said,
Yeah.
how is do you see a lot of the Irish community? Do you see a lot of Irish living there as well? How is the connection?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's only recently, actually, I feel like I found my own tribe here a little bit. Um, I haven't come across too many Irish people, actually. There aren't so many Irish people in Verona. Verona is a little bit more of like a large town in comparison to like Milan or Rome.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have one or two Irish friends here. What tends to happen when you go abroad, like you find your expat friends in general. So our group is just a big mismatch of, we have Americans and English and Irish and Brazilians, and everyone's just thrown in there having a good time. So we do go out to karaoke on a Saturday night. I will say that. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Amazing. Next question. Rachel, before the next question, what's the biggest joy of being a coach, empowerment coach? What do you like the most about it? And the flip side, what do you find most challenging about your career?
Great questions. So I think the moments that I find the most powerful, really moving for me, I suppose would be the way to describe it, is often when I get an email or a message from a client after a session or after they've finished their journey with me, and they just tell me that they're doing really well, and that what we did together really worked for them and actually completely changed their perspective of themselves and their perspective of life. Because I think, when you're in the middle of the work, when you're in the session, there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of information there, we're going deep into the things. But it's when someone realizes afterwards, like, oh, hey, that really worked for me and I feel really, really good right now. That really moves me to get a message like that. And I do often get messages like that. And then I think maybe the most challenging, you know what, I wouldn't say that there is a most challenging part, because maybe I could say like, oh, if something isn't clicking with a particular client, or they feel frustrated or something like that. But then actually that's not really a challenging part, because that's part of the coaching process. Like every client that I take on is completely different. They're at a completely different stage in the process of personal development, and even understanding what personal development means to them. Yep. And I think it's all a learning process. So there really is no tricky part. Maybe on a more of a surface level, it is, now that I'm abroad, I work with clients online all around the world. And I suppose I don't have that kind of human to human connection as much anymore that I would like. But I mean, the joys of the internet, it works for us. We make it work.
Totally. And most of the people who contact you, your clients, they are more female or male?
It's actually a really good mix of both. In the beginning, it was more female, because I think, you automatically go to the person that you feel like resembles you or resonates with you. But as time has gone on, it's been an even mix. What I find more particular is the age bracket maybe that I would attract. So I would mostly work with people between the ages of 25 to 40. And I saw that naturally kind of occur over time, because I suppose the work that I do with people really does center on aligning with your true self and uncovering what that is, and really stepping into your true empowerment. And I think that's, the perfect age that we are really learning actually who we are and who we want to be.
I see. All right. Next question for you is, if you could go back in time in one moment or memory in your life, what that would be and why?
I think maybe I will go back and spend some time with, important people in my life who've since passed away and things like that. As everyone always says, time is the one thing you can't get back. And just, be in the moment with them and just soak them up and take them in and listen to what they have to say and just be back in that moment again, I think.
Who in your family are more close to?
So It's interesting. I'm very close with kind of different members of my family, extended family. Like even I would say like I would even consider like my uncle one of my best friends in a way. In terms of my parents, uh, I'm probably closer with my mom, but I'm more similar to my dad in my personality, if that makes sense.
It
I
does,
take a lot from him.
absolutely. And you have siblings as well?
I do. I have one younger sister, yeah.
Oh, okay. Next question. Hey, Rachel from Ireland. Next question is, define yourself in a season of the year and why?
Repeat again, sorry.
Define yourself in a season of the year and why?
Define myself this season, autumn. I'm very happy that it's the beginning of autumn. I'm an autumn girl through and through. I was actually only today I was googling like fall movies to watch, and I feel very I feel energetically different actually in the autumn. Like it really does affect me. It's a feeling that I get. I feel more like I have a new, it's like fresh air in my lungs. It's like there's vibrancy. It's the colors in the sky. It's the colors in nature. Maybe it's my kind of upbringing of being out in nature a lot, and in the fields and the green and things like that. And also being Irish, I'm not a summer person because I'm not very good in the heat and things like that. But yeah, it's autumn, and I feel like it's because it's that transitional period. It's cozy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe this is the thing that I love for myself as well. Like it's cozy. It's, you can imagine like sitting by the fire with a blanket and you have your coffee, you're reading a book, it's that type of thing, which I really resonate with.
I love the autumn. I always been very connected with the season. It's something about it that, as you said about the colors, about it's not too cold, not too hot. It's a transition, you know what I mean? People,
Yeah.
I don't know, people that are more cozy as well. There's something about it. And somebody told me once that you feel very connected with the season when you were born. And for me, it works perfectly because I was born in November, so
Okay.
it just, yeah, I've been told that once. And of course, it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, it works perfectly because since I've been in Europe, from Brazil, and I remember arriving in Europe. I remember the first autumn in Europe. I was living in Portugal, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's that?" The feeling of you look in the street and you see all those leaves around. Funny enough, yesterday I was coming back home from work, and I saw some leaves already on the floor, like on the ground, like this yellowish, like yellow. I was like, "Oh my God, the autumn is here already!"
Yeah, it has arrived.
I know, it was the first feeling when I said, "Okay, my goodness, it's already here," and it makes sense what you said. It's something about it that there's something there that people, I don't know, people get more cozy. People like to get home and be together with someone or sharing some time together. There's something about it.
Yeah, it definitely has that. There's something magical about it that you can't really put your finger on. It's hard to describe, but yeah, I definitely get you on that.
Next question, Rachel. Let's do it. So before the next question, since you've been in Italy, for you, what was the most difficult part for you to adapt yourself to the new culture, new language, and also tell me about Cork. When you think about Cork, people, I've never been Cork before. What's the postcard of Cork? People, when you think about going there, what's a must to see?
Well, okay, to start off with the Cork postcard then. You see, this is where I become very biased as well. And I'm like, well, East Cork is the place to be. And of course, really, in Cork, probably the most beautiful area is actually West Cork. That's when you really start to go into rural Ireland, and it is very, very beautiful. Let me think. You know what? I actually appreciate in Cork when you find just like random local beaches. And I love in Ireland the ruggedness and the wildness of the sea and of the beach. When you find a beach that is just down a little, a little what we would say like a boreen in Irish, and you look up and you have the cliffs above you, and you have green fields running out to the edge of the cliff, and then there's just that sharp sudden drop. and it's rocks and there's waves crashing because, it's windy in Ireland. And it's a very powerful scene, because I feel like when people describe their, like a dream beach scenario, it's not this. But for me, there's something just wild and really peaceful about that. So I think there's lots of, especially in the area that I come from, there's so many beaches like that, that they're all, because I live by the coast, Cork is by the Atlantic. There's just so many beaches like that you can find, and they're all within, 10 minutes of each other. And then, so the most difficult part then of adapting to Italy, to living here, it really has been, an element of the culture, and it probably would be the expression, the way that people express themselves here. Because in Ireland, we're very, we have our, we're both very particular. In Italy, they're very particular. In Ireland, we're very particular, but in opposite ways. And that's why it's been difficult, because in Italy, I really have, had to get used to the fact that in Italy, everything is said, if it's good, if it's bad, no matter what it is. And they don't have a huge regard for if what they're going to say might hurt you or not, or if it's not politically correct, or if it is. In Ireland, we're completely the opposite. We will just speak in small talk all day long if it means that we're not going to, hurt someone or say the wrong thing or be seen as being dramatic or whatever. And actually, it was really funny the other day. Myself and my boyfriend, actually, we were watching, some video came up on Harry Styles, really funny. And someone was describing him, I'm sure it was the actor, actually, Stanley Tucci, who is like Italian himself. And he was describing Harry Styles. He was praising Harry Styles for being very soft-spoken. And I was like, isn't that lovely? Harry Styles is soft-spoken. And my boyfriend was like, I've never heard anyone be praised for being soft-spoken ever in my life. Because in Italy, if you're quiet, what's wrong? Speak up, share your opinion. So that's probably been the hardest thing for me, is just like, no, it's adapting myself in the way that I communicate here, and then also the way to interpret what's said to me in a different way, to as if someone was saying to me back home.
Interesting saying that, because I'm originally from Brazil, and our culture is very similar to Italian. We are very loud. We speak with our arms. We are very, expressive. We are very expressive. You know what I mean? You know when someone is not right because they are on the side. Because if they are talking, it's just like expression a lot. Another thing as well, interesting, you're saying about Cork, describing around. It's interesting because I had a lovely man here on the show last year, and he's from Belgium, and he traveled literally around the world. Like his Instagram page is about traveling, so he's been like in so many places around the world that it's imaginable. And he posts a lot of pictures and videos and this and that. And I asked him at one point about, tell me one place that you've been in the world that's it's been remarkable for you. And he said Ireland, and he said, wow, I was impressed. And I said, yes, there's something there, William, that when I was there, that I just never seen anywhere else in the world. And I was like, wow, I was very impressed, because he literally been in all the continents around the world. And I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Oh, that's lovely to hear.
Yeah. Next question is, what does love mean to you?
Oh, love means to me probably more than anything, I think, supporting the person through any differences, any, things that maybe you wouldn't choose for yourself, or you wouldn't necessarily have that perspective on something. But I think it's kind of allowing the person to be as they are, and choosing to support them for who they are. And I think love comes from that place, I think for me, I'm big on kindness, I'm big on support, I'm big on care, and I think that's probably my number one.
Do you believe that there are different kinds of love?
Oh, I do, yeah, absolutely. I think love changes over time. I think, love can morph into many different things. I think that, I think respect plays into a lot of that as well, and how love can change over time. There's so many different types of love. There's a type that's based on respect, like I say, admiration, platonic. the love that you feel, like even the way I'm talking, the love that you feel for your home, or the
Yeah.
home that you might create for yourself, the type of love that is only reserved for yourself, you know, that's different to everyone else, the love that you might have for a child, and how that's different to the love that you have for your partner. There's so many different types.
And all of them come from a very good place, like this
Yeah.
butterfly feeling, you know, when you are feeling this
Mhm.
beautiful, unique feeling. That's what I call love as well.
Totally, yeah.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Rachel, before the next question, you know, being a coach, I'm sure you know, you deal with a lot of energy. Yeah, like, you know, taking some energy, giving some energy, sharing energy. There's a lot, I'm sure, for you, you know, to presence that. My question for you is, how do you, you know, again, you deal with beautiful energy, like, you know, sharing beautiful. At the same time as well, I'm sure you deal with a lot of, let's say, most challenging energy or negative energy. Personally, for you, what do you do to not take this, let's say, negative energy to your personal life? Somehow for you to block, you know what I mean? Because being a coach, for sure, you need to put yourself in their shoes. You know, somehow you get into their life as well. You know what I mean? And how do you do to somehow protect from your personal life?
That's a great question. Well, I think it's definitely gotten easier over time. And I think maybe the first point on that would be I'm very solid and I'm very confident in the work that I do. So that would have been a huge difference from when I was starting off, because when you're starting new at any job, you don't feel as confident in yourself, you know, and if someone says something that could throw you off potentially, that could bother you for the next 2 days. Whereas now I'm very clear on what I do, and I'm very clear on the type of client maybe that I attract, that I, you know, welcome in through my front door from day one. And I'm also very clear with my client what they can expect. So I feel like that really just offers a very kind of concise and precise container that everyone knows exactly what's going on. And there's that. And then, you know, part of my work, like you're saying, it is energy. So I think through my own even spiritual evolution, I really do see beyond the ego now in my work with people. So I find that things don't really trigger me or upset me because I see that the evolution and the journey that the client is going on. Like I was saying earlier, even if someone is frustrated or they're feeling blocked or stagnant, that for me isn't a sign of anything negative going on or failure. It's just the next step in the process. And then of course the other aspect of that is, you know, what am I doing for myself in my personal life to set myself up in my own alignment to be able to do the work. So it's like, what is my morning routine? What is my evening routine? What do I need to do to fill my own cup? What do I need to do to feel like myself? And when I've done those things and I feel good with myself, I don't necessarily feel the need to protect myself from anything.
I see. Okay. Next question is, tell me something that made you laugh last time, something funny that happened to you.
Oh gosh. Well, going back to the karaoke, to be honest, that's always a shoe-in for a funny moment. Yeah, I have this Irish friend, and I mean, going back to the Irish humor, and he just steals the show whenever he goes up there and takes the mic. And I have this incredibly funny video on my phone of him just like living his best life. He can't sing, God bless him, he can't, but he's having a great time, and he's really loud as well. So in this video I have on my phone, I'm just like scanning the room, and everyone is just like this in the bar because it's quite something to take in. And I had a really good night that night. So yeah, I belly laughed that night, which is great.
Amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, if you could have a superpower, what that would be and why?
At the moment, to fly. So I could fly home probably. I think so, because I don't think, like many people say, I would not like be able to read minds. I would not like that. I wouldn't like to be able to predict the future or anything like that. But I think to be able to fly, even from an embodiment perspective, what that would feel like to feel weightless and to go up into the air and to be able to zoom out a little bit from being so hyper focused on your life. I think it's almost like I would see it as a form of meditation or something to be able to do that. I think it would be a really lovely feeling.
Let's say right now, if you have the superpower of flying and you could fly anywhere to a place you've never been before, where would you fly right now?
I would go to Egypt. I was thinking about this also this morning. Ancient Egyptian history was one of my first loves when I was really, really young. I went to an exhibition. My aunt took me up to a museum when I was a child, and I really became obsessed with it. So I would love to go to Egypt someday. I've never been, but I'd love to go.
Amazing. Ready for the last question?
Mm-hmm.
Last one. Let's do it. Before the last question, Rachel, I'm going to ask a question in two parts. So people watching the interview right now, maybe they would like to contact you, to work with you, or to connect with you somehow. Tell them something unique, different, that they cannot find anywhere, in other platforms, or people who do the same job as you. And the second part of the question is, tell me a situation or a moment with one of your clients, someone that connect with you that you're never going to forget. Like a situation that you go like, you know what, that situation or understanding or sharing or anything that's always going to have a special place in your heart.
Yeah, sure. Oh my God, so many moments like that. But I think, well, first of all, I think what makes my work that I do special, and even the area that I focus on, is that I really do believe in the dual model approach of combining mindset with energetics. And I think a lot of people, and even a lot of like leaders in this field, they say if you focus on one, you'll heal your whole life and you'll get to exactly where you want to go. But I think, we are humans and we are in this very open, holistic experience where, we need to look at so many different things in order to be well. We need to look at our physical energy, our emotional energy, mental energy, and all that type of thing. So I'm very grounded in my practice, but then I will cover with everyone and go deep into mainstream psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy and all that type of thing. But then it's like, let's talk about energy attraction and exactly how you are creating your life. Let's look at your birth chart and see what energies are there that you're actually embodying and projecting out of you that are attracting your life experiences. So I fully believe in the way that I do it. And I think it is magical, that winning combination, I believe in, of the mindset with the energetics.
Amazing.
And sorry, what was your other question?
A moment that you're never going to forget, a situation that's always going to have a special place in your heart.
There are so many, like I said, like that, because especially in the work that I do, if a client books in with me in particular for one particular service that I offer, which is a birth chart reading and mentoring session, in that session, we really dive deep into, it's essentially your blueprint that your soul chose for you to experience certain things in your lifetime. And this could bring up anything from, deep-rooted childhood traumatic events that you went through that no one else knows about, or, your experiences, cycles in love, or habits, or, what you tend to attract in cycles and things like that. And I think there's been so many moments where clients are just like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're saying this to me. I can't believe that we're talking about this right now. This is absolutely incredible. I haven't spoken about this in 5 years, or, I'm so happy that we're talking about this today because I would never have brought this up with anyone else in my life. And I think those moments, I feel very privileged. Even recently, I had someone send me on their wedding dress that they just chose yesterday, because they said to me, you've been such a part of my journey to get to this point that I wanted you to be the first one to see my dress. And it's things like that I feel like, that's really, I'm so honored to be in the position that I am, that I'm able to connect with these people and able to impact them in the way that seems to be the case. And I can see the change, I can see the transformation in them. And yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, really.
Amazing. You know what? It's fascinating to hear that, and I think that when you do something with passion, with love, you know, people they feel that they can connect with us because it's visible there, and it becomes like a natural bond between both of you, your clients as well. I think that's how I see. Amazing.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I mean, I take as much from them as well. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because it's energy interacting with energy, so
Yeah.
it can be just one result in one direction.
And I'm sure you learn as well a lot of them. I'm sure you learn a lot. You bring a lot of to your understanding. You know what I mean, and
Totally.
to your life as well, and to perform your work even better. That's how I
Yeah,
see.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, last question for you. This is my favorite question of the Magic Box, and came up to you. Send away a message to someone, but you don't need to know who this message is for.
Okay, what is the message?
Anyone, just the person watching, gonna go like, okay, this message is for me.
There is a way out of the feeling of being stuck in a loop. I think a lot of people, and myself included, when you're in the energy of being stuck, you don't in that moment have the access to know that there is something else out there. You're not an energetic match in that moment. So it's just about letting yourself ride that wave and letting yourself process what you need to process to move out of that stagnation. And then all the doors will open for you. Because that's always been my personal experience. And I see this all the time with my clients.
Amazing. Okay, let's do now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with money.
Money, freedom,
Family.
home,
Oh. Life.
vibrancy,
Love.
evolving,
Sex.
nature.
Okay. Religion.
I love the way you said quick thinking. I'm like,
Okay, take our time. Take our time.
Religion, transformative,
Politics.
politics, a game,
I like that actually. Fear.
illusion,
Friendship.
loyalty,
Desire.
motivation,
Regret.
processing.
Success.
What was that? Sorry, excess,
Success.
success, happiness,
Wish.
embodiment,
One word for happiness.
harmony,
One word for Cork.
friendliness.
One word for Ireland.
I don't know why the first word came to my mind was just green. It's just generic, just green.
Very green and beautiful. One word for Italy.
Culture.
And the last one now, empowerment coach. One word.
Alignment.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your partner, what is the most beautiful thing about Rachel, and what's something that she still needs to work on, to improve on? What he would say.
Oh God. My partner is he's quite a deep soul, so he would probably say something along those lines as well, that like he loves my soul, he loves my actually it's the same answer for both probably. He loves my sensitivity in the way that it's good, and the way that I help people, and the way that I'm very tuned into people and very emotional as a person. And then also maybe he thinks that I'm also weak sometimes in my sensitivity, because I can stay maybe in what he would call sufferance for too long, or I can be affected by things quite deeply, or I can make something, you know, over dramatize something, and he'd be like, "What are you talking about? It's not a big deal." Yeah, so probably that.
What is your star sign, Rachel?
I'm a Capricorn. Oh my God, I'm not. I'm a Cancer sun. I'm Capricorn rising and moon. So I'm as I get older, I'm moving into that Capricorn side of myself.
I see. Let's play now Rachel and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, tell me, what's your favorite Italian word?
Probably tesoro, which means treasure.
Beautiful. In Portuguese, the same as well.
I knew you recognized it straight away.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes. And before that, pizza or pasta?
Oh God, pasta.
Pasta. Okay. You can ask me a question now, Rachel.
Yes, I would love to know, William, from you. What does internal alignment feel like or look like to you for yourself?
You mean like something positive?
When you feel aligned within yourself, when you feel like you are literally operating as your best self, you are in harmony with yourself, you're happy with what you're doing and how you're doing it. What does that look like or feel like to you, if you could describe it?
Wow, great question. You know what? It's interesting because the other day I was talking to a friend of mine. A few years ago, I was traveling with an English friend. We were traveling from Canada, driving from Montreal to Cape Cod, to Boston in the US.
Beautiful.
It's funny because you're traveling, you're talking, you know, having the best of time, driving. And it's funny because one point, he's English. He, you know, through the conversation, through the, you know, the journey, he literally just touched my leg and said to me, you know, I really like you. Like a very nice way of saying, yeah. Anyway, after that, a few years or months afterwards, we were here in London. I was at his place, and we were talking about different things. And I remember the situation, and I told him, I said, "Look, I remember that moment when you expressed yourself, saying that you liked me, and you just literally just gently just touched my leg." And I said to him, "If it was me, it would be me. What if I would be like this in this moment?" How would I express myself, like, you know, saying how much I like you? And he said, "William, this room wouldn't be like enough for you," because he said it would be I'll be too expressive, like I'll express. So back to your question, this came to my mind is because of that. When I'm feeling my best, Rachel, people who knows me very well, they see the joy. I feel like a child. I feel like I'm literally jumping around. You know, people see I'm literally smiling or shining or sharing something nice and positive about myself or about the moment or about the situation that's, you know, brought me to that moment. At the same time as well, when I'm not well, trust me, people know. Even people who don't know me very well, they can see because I cannot look into their eyes. I can, you know what I mean? I look down. It's not myself. So when you start to get to know me, you can see that I'm, you know, it's visible. What you see, it's here. So when I have those moments of lightly in front, like me, you have no idea. I become silly as well, to be honest. Like I can become silly because I feel like explosion of feelings, emotions. I just need to share the moment. I just need to, you know, to express somehow. I cannot just hold here. I can't. Even if I'm alone, I start jumping, I start clapping, I start, you know, I call a friend or I do something because those moments are so genuine, and at the same time as well, I feel so special and I feel so nice, and it's like a roller coaster. Yeah, like those moments come and go. We have some time as well, feel very down for some reason, you know, you are not have those moments. But for me, when I'm feeling the best, yeah, it's visible, not just for people around me, but for myself as well. And I love those moments because it's a learning process. Even though when you are very down or very sad, it's a great opportunity for you to learn a lesson out of it. But I strongly believe as well, when you are very happy as well, sometimes you need to understand why you are feeling this way, why this beautiful strong feeling came up and you are feeling at the moment. You know what I mean? And sometimes we don't ask that because when you are so happy, you just enjoy the moment. But I try sometimes to go like, oh my God, I'm feeling so great right now. Why is that? Why it is a great feeling is coming along? So yeah, I don't know I don't know if I answer your question, but
You
that's
did.
so for
You
me
did.
that's
Thank you.
yeah. So that's the feeling, and actually I have this feeling. I feel very lucky because I feel this feeling quite often when I wake up in the morning. Like literally, when I wake up in the morning, I leave the house. Trust me, just this fresh air, just this fresh air I feel in the morning, and I feel like a new opportunity. So I start feeling this feeling. You know, not always, of course. I have those moments as well that I'm not well, but most of the time I feel grateful because when as soon as I step out of my door, my building, and I start walking and I start feeling the fresh air and the the birds, anything, I go like, oh my God, it's a new day, it's a new opportunity, and my mind starts in working and I start feeling. So yeah, that's for me is a moment when I have this beautiful feelings that I just need to spread around the world or doing something because I cannot contain inside.
That's so lovely. Like I feel like what I'm getting from you from all that is that sense of purity within that, even in the expression. It's so pure. It's so natural. Like you can't do anything about it. It just like projects from you. And I think that's so lovely because whoever you meet along the path is going to be like impacted by that in such a positive way because you're literally just saying, I'm here, I'm really grateful, and I'm really happy. And now I'm just going to give this feeling to you as well. And I think that's like the loveliest thing.
Oh, thank you. But it's so true, Rach, because I need it sometimes. Sometimes I become annoying for my friends who knows me very well. They go like, okay, William, you are right there right now again. You know what I mean? They make this joke with me sometimes. They know people like partners in the past. They were like, okay, William, attention. I know attention, you need attention right now. So yeah, those feelings I think, and I feel grateful as well. But again, even those downtimes as well, I'm grateful because I know there is an opportunity to learn something out of there. So yeah, that's my answer to you. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I think just to touch on your last point there as well, I was speaking about this yesterday in a client session, but even things that we're triggered by or things that we don't like about ourselves, if we see them as nothing more than just signals of who we are being, that we can just learn who we are and then adjust where we want to adjust things, that's all we need to take from it, you know?
Absolutely. Everything in our lives is an opportunity for us to see a message behind. Why is that happening? I mean, why, I'm feeling this way, why I'm looking this direction, why I'm changing my point of view, why, there's always a little message behind. And, that's the beauty of life for us to try to understand that.
Totally, yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview, Rachel?
I loved it. Yeah, I love talking about this in general anyway. I could go on for hours talking about this.
Thank you so much. Thanks again for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet. I know nowadays, people, we are so busy with our own time that when sometimes people, they give us their time, it's a gift because I understand how busy we are. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
That I live by, I think it's very important to be inspired. I think to operate in inspiration, I think to have something there that you can identify with. Another thing I think is really important. So the inspiration and what I've come to know as your emotional bank account. We need to put in our actual bank account, we need to make deposits into our bank account to have a surplus. The same thing goes for our body, for our feeling state, but also our subconscious mind. We need to be actively saying to ourselves that, I'm really happy to be me. I'm really glad that I am who I am and to have the opportunities I have. And, just to build on that self-worth, build on that state of confidence, and then you're good.
Amazing. Very good. Thanks so much. I like that about the bank accounts to put your, I love that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it myself. A mentor of mine in the past, it always stuck with me though, that she always used to say that. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Wow. For me, it's for Neil now, so always going to remember you. You pass the message.
Great.
Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks so much. Regards to your family and to your partner, and you keep in touch. Okay, it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much, William. It's been lovely. Thanks a million.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.